Welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, and as always, I have a very special guest for you, Curtis Harris, candidate for the New York City Council 35th District. He'll be with us for the next 30 minutes, so stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. Like I said, I have a very special guest for you, Curtis Harris. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed the first time, and I'm looking forward to continuing our journey here at Beyond Focus.
Absolutely. And we know we're getting very close. It's getting close to the time, as you know, 35th Council District. It's a big one.
Yeah, the election is June 22nd. The early voting starts June 12th, and we have a few accomplishments that I'm very, very proud of. We're on the ballot. We made the ballot, and as a matter of fact, my name will be second on a list of 7 people. So it's easy to find me. Curtis Harris will be the second person, and I'm just excited about this process in general.
So why don't you just kind of fill us back in for those who don't know about even this whole process.
Okay.
How do you even get to make the ballot? If somebody wakes up and they decide they want to embark on this journey.
Well, any and all elected officials from the mayor on down has to acquire signatures. Each office requires a certain number of signatures. For city council, normally you would require about 900 signatures of Democrats in the district. However, because of the pandemic, they reduced the total number of required signatures to just 270. However, most people will probably want to have 3 or 4 times as many signatures, just in case they're challenged by other people or challenged by your opponents and things of that nature. And that's happened in the past. You know, some people have been knocked off the ballot because of your signatures being challenged. So we were able to ultimately submit over 1,000 signatures. And because of that, none of our signatures were challenged or objected to, so we are officially on the ballot.
That is great. So congratulations.
Thank you.
I remember last time you weren't officially on the ballot at that point.
Yes.
You were vying to be on the ballot.
Yes.
But now you've made the ballot. So how's that journey been for you so far? You know, the whole process is overwhelming doing this during a pandemic, as we know. So they require a limited amount, but you were still able to really blow them out the water, so to speak. You know, come with 1,000. Even if you challenged me, I still made the minimum requirement.
Well, it's been, as you mentioned, it's been challenging because of the pandemic. But, you know, that's for everyone, to be quite honest with you. So that kind of evens out the playing field. However, it's still it's been really challenging for me because I don't have that base of support that the other 2, I'm in the top 3 of 11 candidates in terms of fundraising and total cash on hand. I'm in the top 3. And one individual has support of a particular constituency. I won't go into detail. And the second person used to work for the incumbent and has access to a lot of things that none of us have access to. And my campaign is truly the only real grassroots, community-based campaign. And we came in 3rd. We're in the top 3.
Congratulations.
So out of 11 people, I'm just ecstatic because I'm not a politician. And
that is true.
I don't like that term. I'm not a politician. I'm not part of the establishment. And to be honest with you, the establishment has created the problems that we have. Homelessness, as an example, just as an example. Affordable housing, as they say. And I don't want to identify with the problem. I want to be able to identify with the solution.
Now, God willing, things go well and you become the person representing. Would you then want to be considered a politician, or even then, what would be the best term that you personally, because you are for the people, but essentially you're still entering that world of politics?
That's true. I will be an elected official, and I'll accept that title because that's exactly what I will be. However, at heart, and what motivates me is truly community service.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I mentioned before, I'm a servant, and what motivates me is my desire to be an activist or to be an advocate for the people, especially those who don't have a voice,
Mm-hmm.
those who are marginalized, those who are written off, those who are disrespected and totally discounted. And that is my fuel. That fuels my fire. And that is really one of the reasons why I truly believe that God has me in the position that He has me in this race, because He understands my heart. My heart is open, and God is my guide. A good man's steps are ordered by the Lord. So, not to start preaching or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that, because the last time we spoke, I mentioned that, I got saved at CCC, or CLC. And Dr. A.R. Bernard is my pastor. So I feel as though this is a calling of mine, and it's truly to represent people the way they have not been represented, to call attention to things that some people will ignore. I'm not a politician because I cannot be bought.
And that's an important point, and I think a lot of people need to know that, because when you're always up to the highest bidder,
Mm-hmm.
you really have no loyalty. Your loyalty is to the dollar, which I understand how important money is.
Oh, it is. It is.
And I would never sit here and say it's not important.
But I will never sell my soul. There's certain things that are more important than money. I think the last time I was here, I mentioned to you that I retired after 40 years as an accountant. So, I have my Social Security and my pension, and my girlfriend makes over $80,000 a year. So I don't need the money. I'm doing this because I feel that our community needs representation. Our community needs good representation. An advocate that's going to really fight for real affordable housing, and not what they call affordable housing. An advocate that's going to stop the madness and say enough is enough. To put an end to the homelessness situation that's really getting out of control right now. Homelessness in New York City is a business.
That's an interesting way to put it.
They're building these hotels as an example. Just to give you an example. They're building hotels just to house the homeless. Instead of providing policy and opportunity for people to get out of poverty and to develop real estate at prices that we can afford, either to rent or buy, they don't do that.
Yep. And there's a lot of different things that are part of the problem, and that the establishment, as you said, is doing. But we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. So, Curtis, before we took the break, we were just talking about how homelessness in this city has really become a business. And I think with most of us being home the last year, whether we're forced to be home by choice, which many of us were, some people had to do remote work, it really exposed so many issues. Because before, during the day, I would leave Brooklyn, go to the city, I'm at work. I'm really not seeing what daytime is looking like here. And when I was home the last year, trying to stay fit, gyms are closed. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go outside and I'm running, or I'll run in the morning. And certain parts of Flatbush, you see people with their sleeper beds and
Yes.
they're pulling stuff out, and
Yes.
that is their home.
Yeah, I just saw an article just this morning or the other day about Governor Cuomo blaming Mayor de Blasio for allowing homeless people to sleep on the subway.
Or where else are they gonna go when it's cold?
That's my point. I mean, I call it victim blaming. The reality is that they're both culpable. They've created, politicians have created an environment that produces that result. You have people sleeping on the subway because some feel safe on the subway, safer than at a homeless shelter, to be honest with you. But the situation is really dire, and it's extremely sad, and that's one of the things that continues to motivate me to seek solutions for people. I've been blessed to have a roof over my head and food in my stomach. My children have been provided for. I thank God for that. But unfortunately, there are a number of people, the least of these, who are not in that position. So I think it's incumbent upon any elected official who wants to truly represent people to look out for their best interest. And at the price of housing in Crown Heights, as an example, or Fort Greene,
Skyrocket.
it's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. On Union Street, as an example, Union and Franklin Avenue, there's a one-bedroom condominium going for $699,000.
Mhm.
I'll let that sink in. One bedroom going for $699,000. Now, at one time I was married. Before I came back to Brooklyn, I lived in Freeport, Long Island, and I had a 4-bedroom, 2 full bath house, detached garage, backyard, side yard, and front yard. The house was dormed out, that is, the roof was raised, for just $250,000. 4-bedroom.
Yep.
It's situations like that I look at and I said, what's going on here in New York City?
What is going on? Have you started thinking about what you would do if put in this position to help alleviate some of these?
Oh, absolutely. The very first thing I would do is challenge the AMI formula. The AMI formula is area medium income, and that's the formula that determines what's affordable. As an example, a developer will come into your neighborhood, want to build a building, and say, okay, we're going to price these apartments at 130% of AMI. That will be too expensive, to be honest with you. And then they have income requirements. As an example, a 1-bedroom, 110 AMI would probably start at about $75,000 a year, minimum. You have to make $75,000 a year in order to get into one of these buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's absurd. So that's one thing. We have to challenge the AMI formula. Another thing is concerning housing and development is zoning. City council, one of the functions of the city council person has to do with land use. The city council has a lot of power concerning land use and development. And that's why many real estate developers are constantly trying to influence city council people. And as I
Yep.
said before, I cannot be bought. They can try. Unless you're willing to work with me in order to provide for the people. I believe in people over profits. So you must provide low income and moderate income housing. If you're going to once I win, if you're going to develop in the 35th Council District, it must be low and moderate income. And I'm talking about an income that is not more than, say, 30% of your income. I use that as a litmus test. Whatever 30% of your income is, that's what you should be paying for rent. And not more than 30% of your income.
I wish.
Most people are paying up to 95% of their income for rent, which is absurd.
Yeah, because when you go to rent a place, I don't know where this rule came from in the last 5 to 7 years. You must pay 40 times the rent. Your salary needs to be 40 times whatever. So an average one bedroom in Brooklyn, $1,800 times that by 40. You're like, and that's just the rent.
Exactly.
I didn't do anything else.
You have food, you have transportation costs, not to mention recreation. Periodically go to a movie, and that will cost you. The cost of living in New York is really skyrocketing, and it's out of hand. I wrote an op-ed and an opinion editorial for a newspaper recently, and the title of the op-ed was "North Carolina and Homeless Shelters is the New Affordable Housing." Now, what that means is that, see, people from Manhattan, the article went on to say, are moving into Fort Greene.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because that's the new Manhattan now.
yes, you see all the skyscrapers being built, and that's pushing out people who cannot no longer afford Fort Greene. So these people are moving into, say, Brownsville, Brooklyn, where there is a lot more
Still affordable.
low and medium income housing. And if they cannot afford that, then 9 times out of 10 they'll move out of New York altogether and go to North Carolina.
Yep.
And if they can't go to North Carolina, God forbid something bad should happen, you may find them in a homeless shelter. So that's why the article says North Carolina and homeless shelters is the new affordable housing.
We'll hold that thought. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. So, Curtis, we're getting ready. We have just over 6 weeks before the showtime. I call it showtime because it's the primaries. It's June 22nd. It's coming up.
Yes.
What do you really want everybody at home to know about? The key points that, when elected, they can expect from you.
I want people to understand that I'm a fighter, and I'm a fighter for the people. I am not a puppet. I'm not controlled by various special interest groups. I received one valuable endorsement, and that was the endorsement of Ede Fox, Edefox, Ede Fox. And for those of you who know, Ede Fox ran against Lori Cumbo, the incumbent, in 2013 and in 2017, and she did very well.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people looking at the incumbent's record now probably wish that Ede Fox had won. So Ede has always been a champion of low and moderate income housing. So to receive her endorsement meant the world to me, because she validates my policy and philosophy about leadership and the housing issues in the 35th Council District. So that's why I was thrilled to receive her endorsement. Other endorsements don't really mean a lot to me. Number one, endorsements can't vote.
Okay.
All right. Other than that, endorsements of a particular union or entity will look to influence that candidate. That candidate owes them something.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be careful. I am independent. As God rest her soul, Shirley Chisholm. She's at one time said she is unbossed and not bought. Unbought and unbossed. So no one can truly influence her or boss her around because she's independent. That's who I am. I'm independent. And once I win, I will work with whoever wants to work with me, but I will not be their puppet.
Absolutely. I love that. How do they get in contact with you? How do people at home reach out, give donations, and support?
Well, first of all, you can go to my website, Curtis Harris, www.curtisharris2021.com. My email address is friendsofcurtisharris@gmail.com. That's really the best way to contact me. If you have any issues, if you like to volunteer for a campaign, right now we are in the midst of phone banking. So we're calling over 100,000 voters and trying to, first of all, introduce ourselves, our campaign to them, and letting people know our position and our vision. And we want to call as many people as possible. And so we need help doing that. So I encourage you to reach out to us at www.curtisharris2021.com. If you'd like to get involved with our campaign, we really could use your help. As I mentioned before, we're doing phone banking, we're doing P2P texting, P2P person-to-person texting. So basically we're doing a lot of voter outreach at this point right now. So before we know it, June 22nd will be here. And by the grace of God, I'm looking at you. By the grace of God, I will be the next New York City Council member, humbly representing the 35th Council District in Brooklyn, New York.
That is phenomenal. And I mean, we're looking forward to it. There's so much going on. And I think we really need somebody like you right now. Because we need some change. We have not recovered. We are still in this new normal, I guess you could say.
Yes.
And we're just accepting it, but the battle is far from being over.
Absolutely. Lydia Patel, it's been very challenging. The past year has been extremely challenging. And I see light at the end of the tunnel. However, it's going to require a much greater cooperative effort by everyone involved. I volunteer at food pantries and I see the need. I share information about eviction prevention and I see the need. As an example, they extended the eviction moratorium to August 31st now. So whatever information I get concerning that, I share it with people on social media. And we have to be here for each other because we didn't ask for this pandemic. Hopefully this has shed a lot of light on what humans really need, what people really need.
We needed this reset to a certain degree, though.
And I agree with you.
It's sad that it had to come this way.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
But we needed the reset button.
Lydia, I agree with you.
We were way
That's right.
way off.
That's right. We were. Unfortunately, and
myself included.
Look, I'm guilty as well. But we have, God is good. We have a mid-course adjustment. And that's exactly what's going on right now. There's a mid-course adjustment. People have been praying a lot more than they have. People have been operating in faith. People have been operating in love. You've been spending more time with your families. Your children are at home. And people are working from home.
Yeah.
So people are spending more time with each other.
Finally getting to enjoy the home. I bought my co-op, and I wasn't the first year I wasn't home. 2019, I was out grinding trying to pay for it.
Exactly.
But now I'm like, okay, I get to be here.
Also, people are beginning to enjoy outdoor spaces more. Mm-hmm. Businesses are now opening shop outdoors more, which is a good thing because, of course, the business community needed it. They were forced to close at no fault of their own by the governor, and and the mayor Schools were closed, so this was an awakening of sorts. This really was an
Truly
awakening,
was.
and it's not over yet. It's not over. I see light at the end of the tunnel. We're climbing out of it slowly but surely. Speaking of outdoors events, I have a roller skating party coming up outdoors, and that's going to be on May 15th, which is a Saturday at PS 9, which is on St. Mark's and Underhill. So please come out. It's going to be a fun event. Children, of course, wear your helmets. Everyone's going to be face masked.
Okay.
Wearing face masks. Bring your roller skates. We'll have a DJ out there.
That'll be
and
nice.
It is fun. There are a lot of different roller skate pop-ups popping up at different parks because people are now
We're looking forward to that.
outdoors a lot more.
Well, Curtis, thank you so much. Good luck on June 22nd.
Thank you so
And
much, Lydia.
once you win, we'll have you back to kind of congratulate you officially. Thank you so much.
No, thank
And
you.
as always, if you have any questions or comments, you can send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. I'm your host, Lydia Patel. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back again next week. Same time, same place. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us.
Beyond Focus TV show wants and needs your feedback. Did we blunder? Please let us know so we can improve. Was the show helpful to you? Drop us a note so we can share the success with our staff members. Is there something you think we could do better? We welcome new ideas and new approaches to old ideas. Do you have a great suggestion? Let us know and we'll work on it. If you would like to share your comments anonymously, please send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. If you want to get in touch with the executive producer directly, send him an email at gene@beyondfocusmedia.com. We really look forward to hearing from you.